Hey guys, it's Sam here from Zilla Gaming, and welcome to the first episode of my Battlefield 4 wish list. I know a lot of guys out there on YouTube are making these, but since the new, totally cool reveals of Battlefield 4 and some of the new features and things that it can do, I thought this would be a good series to start. Now, if you go back and look at some of the trailers, like, Back to Shanghai and some others, the current sight that I'm using on my AK-74M here is the PKAS Holo sight. It's a Russian optic. It's the Russian Holo sight, unlocked on several different guns. You can get it for both American and Russian guns in-game. And in real life in the Russian Federation, it is quite a popular sight. This serves alongside with the Cobra Red Dot, and they both have a happy service career within the Russian military. In-game, this is going to be compared to the American Holo sight, the EOTech, and statistically both sights are identical. They both have 1.5 times magnification, and they give you a pretty good, clear view on target, and they're both, pretty accurate when used correctly. Now this is what I want to talk about today regarding optics. Better optics in Battlefield 4. Better optics, what are you talking about? Well, comparing throughout this video, comparing the PKAS to the American Holo sight is a big comparison. The PKAS, in my eyes, is one of the worst optics in the game. Now, hear me. The reason being for this is because of how it's compared to its competitor, the American Holo sight. The developers did not treat the PKAS Holo sight with justice because, hey, let's be honest. If you look at the reticle for the PKAS, there's no brightness to this thing at all, hardly. I had to put this on a darker map to really show you the true, at first glance, it might seem, hey, it's a pretty bright reticle, you get a pretty clear view on target, good contrast. Well, in a few short minutes, it's going to switch from the PKAS to me playing with the American Holo sight, the EOTech, and when I switch, it's going to be on the same gun. So, and when you're going to look at this, there's going to be a major contrast here. It's going to be a major you're going to see about right now, you're going to see me switch from the American, switch to the American Holo sight. And right off the bat, the contrast from the EOTech, because the reticle is so bright and so vibrant that it just provides just a clear indication of where your reticle is. I found myself, not just with the PKAS, but with some other optics in the game, primarily the Russian optics, that when I'm looking down sight, maybe at like a longer range target, or maybe sometimes even like in a dense forested area or something, I tend to lose track of where my reticle is because there's no contrast to it. And this is the kind of stuff that developers need to stay away from. I understand that, this might be the first red dot you unlock, maybe even the last red dot that you lock. But I do feel that a sort of bias or something towards a specific faction in the game is kind of retarded because you gotta remember, most guys, maybe there's some people out there that prefer the PKAS. Maybe they think it's got a better targeting reticle, and maybe they think it's got a little clearer view on target. I don't know, but I will just say this: I play a lot better in this game with the American Holo sight. It's probably my favorite optic in the game. That's why, as you see in some of these clips, I'm able to do really good with my AK-74 with the American Holo sight because, just like that shot right there, I was able to nail that sniper almost all the way across the map with an AK-74M because of the extremely high contrast that is in the optic. Now, with all this said, I do like to play with the PKAS on occasion because, it's a Russian optic, playing on a Russian gun. It just kind of makes sense. But I will say this: even if you have a high def TV, the contrast on the reticle just isn't enough. I think the way that would change that is they just slightly increase the brightness. Now, as of yet, Battlefield, or any first-person shooter for that matter, has not implemented a system to where you could increase the brightness or decrease the brightness on your optic, which would be a really neat feature. Like, let's say, they'll create a new system in game where you're switching from a light zone to a dark zone. You might need to change the brightness of your optic. I think that would be kind of cool if they ever incorporated something like that, but I wouldn't get my hopes up for Battlefield 4. Now, there is some good news regarding this. In the Back to Shanghai preview, along with some other footage that we've seen from Battlefield 4, the PKAS Holo sight is in this. It is shown in-game, it is shown being used, and from what I can tell, the brightness has been increased, and it's a lot more, user-friendly this time around, and not just so much outclassed by the American Holo sight. So with all of this said, guys, this has been the first episode of my Battlefield 4 wish list. Let me know what other things you guys would like to see for your Battlefield 4 wishlist, and let's say, what kind of things do you want the developers to do in Battlefield 4? We've already had some interesting tastes from E3, but we haven't seen everything yet. So, I'm really excited, and you can guarantee that I'll be getting Battlefield 4 and to put out some good content for you. Alright guys, this has been Sam from Zilla Gaming, signing out, and I hope all of you have a fantastic day.